back to M. Hood fishing. I think that sounded a bit like a barred owl. Maybe it was something else, but barred owls are pretty common down where I heard that a few days ago when I was fishing. I hear them all the time. A barred owl is going to sound like this. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? That's what their common calling sounds like, their hoot, right? And they got some screeches and some calls. So I think that's like their song. However, I'm going to read something to you. 9 of the 19 owls in North America are found in Louisiana. I've seen this number 9. I've seen that list change as I've been researching it. And usually the first owl on the list is the great horned owl. And I'm toggling down. I'm using a website to help me remember these owl species. The eastern screech owl is one of them. And then there's the barn owl. They're pretty common in a lot of places in North America, in the United States. And then we have the short-eared owl. And then we have the long-eared owl. The burrowing owl. Okay, here we go. Now this is one that is not always on the list of 9. And forgive me, I may be pronouncing this wrong. The flammulated owl. That's somewhere in Louisiana. I'm not going to read all the stuff about that because I don't think we're going to encounter that. And here's another one that's not always on this list of, because everybody says, oh, here are the 9 species of owls that are common in Louisiana. The snowy owl, it says, is number 8 on this list. And then number 9, the northern saw-whet owl. All right, so others occur on these lists. So why is that? Well, I don't know if what I'm going to say makes sense for owls, but here along the Mississippi River, we are underneath one of the world's biggest, probably the biggest flyover for birds. They fly, this is their route along the river from up north from Canada all the way down to South America. Not all of them go there. There are hummingbirds that go all the way up to breed in summer in like northern Minnesota and Canada. But when winter's coming, they fly all the way down to South America. That's a long ways to go. More species go to places like southern Mexico and Central America, but there are quite a few species that go from Canada to South America twice a year, back and forth. That's a long ways to go. So a lot of birds come through Louisiana, and we'll see them. Right now, we have Mexican squealers, pretty common along the bayou I'm about to travel to, but we're not going to see the Mexican squealers tonight because it is nighttime. It is currently 10:58 right now. We're going to head out here in a little bit, and we're going to look for owls, barred owls in particular, but I think we're going to find some other ones too if we're lucky, and we're going to look for bullheads. So it's barred owls and bullheads on the title, but really it's just any kind of owls we can find, because down there I've seen quite a few owls. I've encountered the call of the barred owl quite often, and I've encountered owls with the horns. Maybe not the great horned owls. It could be the long-eared ones, because long-eared, short-eared, and great horned owls can look similar if you're just looking at the head. They got the tufts of feathers coming up like horns. The great horned one got the biggest horns, and then you get it. Long-eared ones, long, short, right? Let's get out of here. Barred owls and bullheads. Sounds a bit boring. Let's see if we can increase the species, and it'll be barred owls, bullheads, and gar. If not, 1 or 2 more species in that title. We got a ways to go before we can increase anything. All right, this clip is for you guys that actually know where I'm at. If you want advice on finding owls in this area, sometimes you'll find them close in where everything is. Like a block behind me is Domino's. They can be found up there and in other places in town, but I always find them more prevalent down away from all this stuff, away from the neighborhoods. That's where we're going. I'm in the neighborhood of the owls. We're gonna stop on this bridge real quick. You see these red lights on the other side? That's federal property. There's a base right there. This town is kind of formed around it. Oh, we just spooked an owl. It's going that way. Dang it. I should have had more foresight. Should have kept my mouth shut coming in here on this bridge. And the reason why, yeah, see, let me get off. I'm not sure which species that was, what kind of owl. I think it was a barred owl because I didn't see horns, but I didn't really see it that good. But many times here on this bridge, you see we got a post here and these wires go really far. Let's turn on the light, see if we can see that little thing hanging there. People hang up their lines when they're fishing off this bridge. A lot of times you'll see a big owl right up on top of the post there, sometimes on these cables. And that can be said for just about any location right in here along this bayou. We're gonna go down because we're gonna go to a spot and get some bait, and we might see some on the way, but the bike tends to spook them. So yeah, we're probably gonna spook some, but we're not really here to get like a clear visual at night with this camera, because that doesn't really work great with this camera. We're here for the who cooks for you, who cooks for you all, and whatever else we can hear in the night. So we'll just go ahead and knock my pedal assist level down to 1, even though I don't like going that slow. And we'll just creep along. See, these owls, they have really, really good night vision. And I believe the reason why I find them roosting at night on top of these telephone poles is because they're not up there catching a high-rise nap, right? They're up there chilling, observing very intently, watching for movement, and then they'll go and they'll pounce. There's probably owls doing that in the thick of the woods that rim this base. Actually, there's a big swath of woods here, and then a thin bit that goes paralleling on my left, and that's all got owls. I'm watching. I don't see anything quite yet. Like I said, the bike tends to spook them, so I will probably see them flying off. I just made a right away from the bayou that I'm actually going to fish. We're gonna cut through this war memorial park. Look at that right there. Slowly snaking through here with just the headlight of the bike on. It's not the best situation for filming. However, it tends to spook things less. Go slow, less light. But sometimes you just gotta turn the big light on, especially when you're gonna go off-roading. Bumping. We are bumping and bouncing. Don't need to be doing that in some dim light. Up on top of the levee now, cruising down to the bait spot. Almost to my bait spot, and I've just been going slow, right? I am making a racket and everything, and then there's the racket of my own voice. But I keep panning left to right with my headlamp on, and I was hoping to see possums, armadillos, possibly raccoons, or a cat, because last time I was here I saw a cat. Haven't seen anything. I'm sure, you know, there are a lot of things that have heard me and have gotten out of the way way ahead of time. Certain animals are a little different, either because they're not too scared of me or they're not really aware of me yet. They might not be able to hear too good or see too good. A lot of animals sense my presence and your presence by the smell of you. That's going to be a little difficult tonight because there is pretty much no breeze, no wind. It's almost not there. So you can get away with that. With, you know, well, you can get around that. Yeah, you're right. You might be wondering why the long form video, because we've probably ticked through the video so many minutes without even getting a line wet. It's an adventure into the night. That's why. Still have hyacinth floating out here, though you guys probably can't see it, but it's here. This water is very still, very calm. Nothing's moving. I mean, the hyacinth isn't moving, but I can see bait activity a good ways out in front of me. There's probably stuff right here. You know what's up if you saw the last video from this spot. We're looking for shad or mullet, but shad is definitely on the top of the list. I thought I felt something in it. Okay, we got 2 catfish. First fish in the video. Not that big of a deal. It's a headache. It's not a big whoop-de-doo, but it is a headache. There's 2 of them here, and getting them out of the net is always a potential headache, I'll say. It's not always that big of a deal, but yeah, it can be. They almost got that little channel out of there. Oh, well, we got them out, but we paid a small price. All right, let's try not to pay that price again. It hurts, but it's nowhere near as bad as like a hardhead. So the way you do this is you go back and forth, you know, kind of loosening the monofilament of the net and trying to get it over the barbs, back and forth, because if you just pull one way, you're putting tension on the barb. You need to release the tension on the line and the barb and try to make a pass, missing that monofilament altogether. And it can be a pain in the butt. You got to be patient. We almost have it. Sometimes people lose their patience and just pull out their pliers and clip, and that's not really good for the fish. Don't do the dude. Whoa, didn't get me, but he did flippy. Oh, kind of got me there, but not too bad. All right, quick look, goodbye. Don't worry, I didn't come out here with absolutely no bait. We do have night crawlers. However, I think if we can get some diversity with the bait, we will get diversity with the species. Bullheads do hit night crawlers, yes. And they hit cut bait. Sometimes cut bait will work better. We've got a beginning. The beginning has begun. It is a small beginning. It's a humble beginning. But here it is. It is there. We are somewhere. A little something else for that humble beginning. But we will spend this shrimpy little dollar right here while we're throwing the net. Got a dropper loop here with a 2-ounce lead at the bottom and a 1-aught octopus. We could encounter some owl calls out here along the ICW. However, there's not really a lot of big trees here, and I've experienced the owls, the barred owls anyway, around where there are tall trees.
Probably going to get a channel cat on that shrimp if we get anything, because we are periodically having to get a cat out. And look at that. It's a nice color channel cat right there. Very interesting. You can go back. This net has some interesting things in it, just not many. Let's see what they are. I see a shad, but there was something else. Where did it go? Oh, little tiny ghost looking minnow. That can go. Okay, that is a nice big shad. I'll show it to you in a sec. I'm trying to shake something else out of here that I want to show you first. Well, you see the big shad. Here's another shrimp, another nice shrimp. Now that I have plenty of good bait, let's go back to where the owls are and see what we can catch there. I did fish some of the shrimp I caught, and I kept some in the tote, so we can do shrimp over there. Just had a couple of bites here. The hyacinth is coming in really thick, causes a lot of issues, and I think we have a better chance of encountering some barred owls or maybe some other species if we just get back to the bayou. Come on. Slowly creeping into the spot where I was the other day when I made that recording. Can you hear that in the distance? I think that's an owl, but I'm not sure what the species is. You hear it screeching back there? And in that cacophony, there's something else calling out. I don't think it's a bird. I think we also heard a frog in that cacophony. So we're gonna do 2 rods here. We're gonna put 2 different baits out. One under a cork. This is a rig that you can get at the store. It's an H&H float rig. It's got a steel leader, about a ½ ounce or so of lead up there at the top. And I have a 4/0 octopus here. I'm going to cut this shad into 3s. We're going to start out with the body piece. We could get a bullhead on this 4/0 or a gar. Get this 1/0 rig exposed here, and we're going to take the tail piece of that shad, hook that once, and we'll put that on the bottom. Trying to get into this rocky, overgrown spot with my arms full and rocks teeter-tottering. I had some glowing golf balls out there. There was an alligator about 30 feet out in front of me. Got the bottom bait out there, the dropper loop, and we're just laying it in that grass right there and tentatively watch it. Let's see if we can get my... It's already getting reclaimed by the vines here. All right, let's get my float out. We're just going to put this right out in front. This is on 45-pound test. A little bit overkill. It seems like that at first, right? But it's not all spotted gar here. We're basically at the end of a road, right? So right across from me is federal property on the other side of a narrow strip of woods. And then we have right here where my hand is pointing off in the dark. If you've been here during the day or seen videos of me working here during the day, you know there's a canal right there, a short canal that goes towards the base, and the bayou continues this way. But right here, there is, on the other side of this bridge that is fenced off and has no trespassing signs on it, there's a thicker bit of woods going for a good distance. And as you go down here, basically the further you go down this bayou, the wider and thicker the woods get. So there's a good chance of hearing just about anything You don't see deer so much in the immediate area that I'm standing, but further down the bayou, there's plenty of little swamp deer running around and other things, hogs as well. So we will probably hear things from here, maybe coyotes, but hopefully we will hear what we're here for to hear is the who cooks for you, who cooks for you all. Ah. Just had my first take from a gar, probably a small one. There's a few in front of me now because I have the light running. It's attracting them. There's a little alligator out there. I'm getting treated to some pretty cool, mellow night sounds. It rained a little bit earlier today and later, well, earlier yesterday, right? Because today is a new day. So there is a lot more rain coming in the forecast after sunrise. And then that's what's up. When you get a little bit of rain, the night is going to be loud here, if it's warm anyway. Now, next month in November, we probably will have quiet nights because of cold fronts that are probably on their way. But right now, we're still in summer mode, but we're cooling off. So we got frogs going off and other things. We got splashes of water here and there. Different kinds of frogs. And we got different bugs making noise, crickets. And I have heard an owl a second ago. I wasn't filming. It was maybe 150 yards away. It would have been really faint. All right, something has my cork. It is motorboating it off. And let's go ahead and open my bail, give him some line, let him take that. He's taking it right towards this alligator that is paying me a lot of interest. I'm gonna let this fish run with this a bit. I want to get a hook up. This is a bit uncomfortable of a spot to fish, especially at night. The rocks move a bit when you walk on them, and it is overgrown, but oh, let's get that away from that alligator. A lot of times this spot is also overgrown with or overrun, I should say, with mosquitoes. We need more bait. It's not so bad right now, but we are definitely, yeah, you need to go. We're definitely getting too many alligators. That's what's up with the cork. Topwaters, corks, alligators pay them a lot of interest. I'm gonna check out another spot. No owl here right now, but the night is still pretty young. It is something like 1 in the morning. Let's see, let me look real quick. I'm gonna 1:35. Less alligators here at the moment. We're just gonna put that dropper loop right there. It's not too far out from the bank, maybe about 8 feet. It's not real deep there. I'll just leave that lay in there. Keep an eye on it. Sometimes the bridge is the creepiest spot at night. Other people disagree with me because it's lit up, and for me, that's why it's the creepiest spot at night. There's no traffic on it right now because the gate is shut, right? So you're here by yourself with the bike fishing, and then you're like, why is this car coming down here? You're just like, oh, you're so creeped out, right? Because you have no idea. 9 times out of 10, they're not sinister people. Like, whenever do they just like go, oh, by the way, we're sinister? Yeah, I mean, they can be, right? But 9 times out of 10, they're people who think this gate is open at 3 in the morning when it's not. He's still here, still on. It's a gar. Not a big one, so we should be able to just swing him up in here. Yes, first fish caught on the line. Not the technical first fish, because we definitely spent quite a bit of time picking little things out of the net. But that's the first fish with the hook in its mouth. Little spotted gar. Yay. You don't always achieve your goals right off the bat. We haven't quite achieved the goal I set for this video, but we've made some achievement. Not a big achievement, and we're going to let our little tiny spotted achievement go back. Well, got that out of the way. The skunk is off the session. Yeah, the fishing hasn't been too good for this video quite yet, and we haven't really seen too many owls. Saw the one that was here. I don't think it's coming back. I did hear something screeching further down there when I was down there, and I heard some kind of owl hooting about 150 to 200 yards further down the bayou at the end. I tell you what, we're gonna give this just a few more minutes and then head back down there and set up. This gate isn't gonna open up until like 5 something in the morning, so we could stay here longer, but I just don't feel that we're going to encounter owls too much. The sound of traffic from 23 is pretty loud right now. We usually get a wave of traffic coming through down 23 going to the LNG plant that they're constructing. Usually starts around 1:30, and it'll be thick by 2 a.m. and it won't quiet down for many hours. It'll just be busy. It's busy now. So if we get down here, we'll be closer to the thicker part of the woods. We might have a better chance of recording the sound of a barred owl, if not another owl. I'm back down here where there's more wooded area around us. Maybe have a better chance of hearing a barred owl close up, or anything close up. Look at this, we got all these shells that something has picked clean. Raccoon or possum. Did you hear it? There was a barred owl a good distance down from us. I don't think we're going to be able to get right up underneath that owl, but definitely want to get away from this 6-pack of alligators. It's literally, there are 6 alligators all around. They're not like there was one right in front of me for a while, but there's a ton of them to my right and a few to my left, but there's about 6 right here in front of, see this grass bit? I don't know, it's kind of hard to see here. Can you see it now? See that grass right there at the water's edge? Right in front of it, and a little down from it, there's 6 of them hanging out, watching me. I've switched over to Nightcrawler, thinking maybe that would work better, because we were just getting hit by a little tiny gar on the cut shad here at all locations where I've fished it. I still really want to title this Barred Owls and Bullhead. I don't know at the moment. Back into the jungle. Oh, got here just in time. I may have started filming at the wrong time. You might not have heard it, but good news. It seems like we have a barred owl a lot closer to this spot down in the jungle than where we previously were, or anywhere. There you go. Is he going to keep doing it? Let's just do the night crawler on the bottom here, the dropper loop. Oh, need extra light though. We're just talking, ranting. Well, not so much ranting right now. We're just kind of talking it out. And as soon as he butts in, I will quiet down. Grab one of these. There he goes. Majestic, right? Gotta love it. It's like we hit the jackpot. Only bad thing is, not only did we hit the barred owl jackpot, how's this looking, guys? We've hit another jackpot. We've hit the mosquito jackpot. We're at that time of the morning where the mosquitoes are starting to come out and they're starting to become a pain, but we're good. Who cooks for you? He's just going to keep doing that. He's going to keep going and going for a while until he decides to fly off. That's a different one. The first one we were listening to is directly the other side of the light you're watching, but a little bit to the right of the light. That last one we just heard is to the left on the other side of the bayou, the other side from us, like the base side of the bayou. Whereas the other one is the ICW side of the bayou, other side of the bridge. If that makes sense. There's the base one, the Navy barred owl. I still don't know why they're called barred owls. There's our Navy barred owl again. Maybe the ICW will call back. It's kind of like call and respond. Call and respond is something I employ to I'm tired, I'm having a hard time conversing here, but call and respond. I'm pausing to listen here, but call and respond is an improvisational method. Of course, they're communicating with each other. They're not improvising. Maybe to a certain degree they're improvising. You could say that if you wanted to, but they are communicating. What it means. Actually, studies have been done, and they do have meaning put to these calls. They're not so precise, right? They're not saying actual words to each other. More like, I'm here. Okay, I'm over here then. That type of communication, very basic. And then calls that are more aggressive, and then the screeching calls are different. I'm intently watching my rod as I talk and listen. I think that's a frog doing that right there. I think that was just a call, not the song. I believe the song is "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for y'all?" Well, right now he's just calling. I think that's a barred owl. Wow, big fish just jumped over there. These mosquitoes. Wow. Well, we did not achieve the bullhead, not quite yet, but we achieved the barred owl. And in the future we'll probably hear some other ones here or some other places. We might get lucky and have one super close, but for the moment we're not getting any bites from fish here, but the mosquitoes are running me off. Not the most fitting spot to end this video. Yeah, you're right, not much of a fishing video, probably pretty long, but let me tell you something. Developing a strong, keen interest in nature has made fishing a lot more interesting for me, and I bet it could do the same for you, because it's just an added benefit to fishing. You're out there fishing and there's nature surrounding you. Take an interest in it, and new horizons will reveal themselves. I'm tired. Yeah, you're right. It's been a long night, but I had a great time just chilling, listening to the sounds of the night, as I love doing that. That is something I really appreciate. The sound of nature. Not so much that, but I've always said, you think it's bad in front of you, it's always worse in front of someone else. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, guys. Liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you next time.